Discipline? Ask someone what discipline is, and you will likely hear the word punishment or correction. But that is not what the Bible's concept of discipline is all about. Discipline in the Bible is goal-oriented, seeking to develop a godly person who will walk in God's ways. We tend to think of discipline as keeping others in line, but at the heart of discipline is discipling, helping people become followers, particularly followers of Christ. The emphasis is on loving guidance and teaching. What is the purpose of discipline? Deuteronomy 8:5. Think about it. Just as a parent disciplines a child, the Lord your God disciplines you for your own good. Hebrews 12:6. The Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child. God's discipline is an act of love to help us. Our discipline of our children should be the same. Loving discipline is life-building, but angry punishment can destroy a child's sense of self-worth. Psalm 94:12. Joyful are those you discipline, Lord. Effective discipline sets you on the right path, making you truly happy and thankful to be on the right way again. Proverbs 12:1. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. Discipline is essential to developing skill, maturity, and character. Proverbs 1:1-3. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. The biblical concept of discipline is summarized in this introduction to the book of Proverbs. As Solomon wrote Proverbs to disciple his people, to teach them how to live, act, and be just and fair, so God wrote his word to disciple us in these things. How does God discipline his children? Hebrews 12:7. As you endure this divine discipline, remember that God is treating you as his own children. Whoever heard of a child who was never disciplined by its father as a loving father? Psalm 190:75. I know, O Lord, that your regulations are fair. You disciplined me because I needed it. Deuteronomy 8:5. Just as a parent disciplines a child, the Lord your God disciplines you for your own good, when you need it. Jeremiah 31:18. I have heard Israel saying, you disciplined me severely, like a calf that needs training for the yoke. Turn me again to you and restore me, for you alone are the Lord my God. Isaiah 38:16. Lord, your discipline is good, for it leads to life and health. You restore my health and allow me to live. When you need restoration. 1 Corinthians 11:32. Yet when we are judged by the Lord, we are being disciplined so that we will not be condemned along with the world, to keep you from being condemned. How should I discipline my children? Proverbs 13:24. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them with love. Discipline is about relationships, not rules. It is about safety, not retaliation. Your goal is not revenge, but restoration. Not to taunt, but to teach and redeem trust. Proverbs 19:18. Discipline your children while there is hope. Otherwise, you will ruin their lives. When they need it, before it is too late. Proper discipline puts your children back on the right path. If children wander off the path, it's much easier to find the path again if they're just a few feet from it. But if they've gone far off the path, it's very difficult to find the way back. They are in danger of being hopelessly lost. Ephesians 6:4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord, never in anger. It is difficult to make a good decision when you are consumed by anger. Your emotions are driving your thinking. Discipline given in anger is too often spiteful and harsh. It will too often shame a child rather than restore him or her. Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not aggravate your children, or they will become discouraged. Without causing aggravation and discouragement, discipline will bring conflict, and your kids probably will get mad at you. But aggravation is caused by constant nagging that says they are never good enough. It attacks their sense of value and worth instead of focusing on the immediate problem at hand. Hebrews 12:10. For our earthly fathers disciplined us for a few years, doing the best they knew how. But God's discipline is always good for us, so that we might share in his holiness, with godly wisdom. All parents will make some mistakes when disciplining their children. Since God's discipline is always best, we need to constantly seek his wisdom. Remember, God's wisdom comes from his word, but it also comes from godly people who have been in His Word and practiced discipline. Promise from God, Psalm 94:12. Joyful are those you discipline, Lord, those you teach with your instructions.